Hello, everybody. Happy June. Year is just flying right by, right? Here we are, Gemini season now. Chatter, 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 buzz, buzz, buzz. What's everybody saying? And more importantly, what are you saying? Hi, my name is Adrienne. I am a practicing evolutionary astrologer and an empowerment doula, along with a slew of other caps that I wear, all helping others to become empowered and take authorship in their lives. So, we're going to talk about this new moon in Gemini, which, interestingly enough, is coming off of a 11-day trine, grand trine. Okay. I'm going to explain what a grand trine is in just a second, but let me just backtrack for a minute. So, Gemini season, chatty Cathy, buzzy, 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 very social, curiosity, wanting to know this, wanting to know that, kind of a scattering of thoughts, even, or an abundance of thoughts coming in. Just wants information, information, information. And that's why I said in the beginning of this video, what's everybody saying? And what are you saying to yourself? So, this grand trine that is just ended yesterday, not as of the day I'm recording, but just ended yesterday, has been inviting us and giving us a pocket of opportunity. A trine is two planets that are, it's 120 degrees. So when you have a grand trine, you have three of these trines, one trine, the third trine. So that's three trines. That's a grand trine. It's an amplification if we talk about the number three, amplification. So it's presenting us with this pocket of opportunity in this air energy, this thought energy, this perspective energy. And it's inviting us to dissolve, to awaken, and to balance out. Okay, so this is 11 days of this. And it's very interesting that it's 11 days, which is about alignment if we go into numerology. But then we come into the new moon, like I mentioned earlier, in Gemini. Now, saw this information coming through to us. But what is interesting about this new moon? It is unaspected, means it's not having a conversation with anybody else. None of the other planets are talking to the moon except for the sun. So when you have a new moon, the sun and the moon, the sun and the moon are in the same sign. They're in a conjunction in the same sign. So this is a very personable, a very private conversation between you, your ego, your sun, and your emotional self, your inner self, being your moon. So we've had the benefit of this 11 days of kites flying around, giving us a perspective, an aerial view of all that's around us. Because we can't forget, this is the 6th month of the year. This is the time when we do the check-in. Is this working? Is that working? What do I need to change or alter? Because I've got 6 months left. You're at the halfway point right now. So you've had the benefit of this kite that has this aerial view of everything that you've accomplished so far, everything that you've become so far, the alignment that you've put in place. And so we have this unaspected new moon in which we tend to plant new intentions and a very private conversation, personal conversation with our sun, with our ego. It is also a super moon. Like, let's just throw that into the mix. It's a new moon. It's unaspected. It's a super moon, which means it's at one of the closer degrees to the earth. It's closest to the earth at this point in time. So it's a powerful cosmic reset for collaborations, communications, intellectual stimulation, learning, sharing. But because it's a private conversation with nobody else in the conversation, nobody else is at this tea party, it's the sun and the moon, it becomes very private, very personal, very inner. Okay. So the intentions that we're going to set during this new moon can be around becoming this new awakened self, this new awakened way of communicating that you have with self, this new way of learning about self, this new way of speaking to self. I mean, that's just it in a bubble, right? Like, drop the mic. That's it. That's what this new moon is asking you. It's asking you to set intentions around becoming this new awakened self of you, this new awakened truth of yourself, this new awakened self that you've become. Okay. This new perspective of self. And I love that it's unaspected because it's the two things that are important here are the sun and the moon. And nobody else gets a vote. Nobody else gets to say. Nobody else gets to contribute. There's no side conversations in the back. There's no noise in the background. This is just conversation, communication, collaboration with these two inner and outer portions of ourself, masculine and feminine. It's a conversation with self. Okay. So, so let's take a moment and see what the cards have to say. What's being revealed to us? What needs some of our attention? And what's emerging? Right. So this card will be what's being revealed. And this one will be what's emerging. And this will be what's our attention? What needs our attention? What's being revealed? It's the death card, the transformation. Transformation has happened. Something is being left behind. This a way of thinking about self, this a way of communicating to self, this old way of communicating to others, this old way of learning, old perspectives. It has transformed. That's what's being revealed. And what's attention? What's attention? I get from this card, have the audacity to be in your uniqueness. This card is unapologetic. That's the actual title of the card. But what I'm reading about that card is like, have the audacity to be in your authenticity. Let go of societal expectations. Again, this is the nobody else gets to vote card. That's what this is. Nobody else gets to vote. This is all about you. Be in your authenticity. And then what message is emerging from the cosmos? So this is the devil card. And the devil card is about illusions, like What illusions are you telling yourself? What chains are you putting around yourself that aren't really there? I mean, if you look at this card very closely, you look at that card very closely, you see these guys are loosely in these chains. They can easily just take the chain off their neck and walk away. So this is about illusions. So what message is emerging is don't allow the illusions to hold you back. Because limiting self-belief can hold you stagnant. So don't be a prisoner to limiting self-beliefs. One of my mentors actually said something that was so profound and really resonated with me. We spend a lot of time preparing for failure and not enough time preparing for success. And the reason that resonated with me is because, oh my gosh, what if this doesn't work? And oh my God, what if that doesn't work? Or what if this happens? So we spend a lot of time preparing for that worst case scenario. And that comes from that limiting self beliefs. I love that the supporting characters in these cards is Capricorn. Capricorn lessons learned, discipline, maturity, that grandmother energy. We've got 6, which is about harmony. And then we've got Scorpio, transformation, life, death, rebirth. And then the number 4, stability. So what's being revealed is this transformation is a stable transformation. You've done the work. You see what works for you. You see what doesn't work for you. You've done the work. You know that this no longer is part of your conversation to self. This is no longer part of the way that you present yourself. So it's going to be a stable foundation in which to build upon. Whew. Some readings are just that easy. They really are. And I'm really loving that this new moon is asking you to have a personal conversation with yourself. And remember, this is a new moon. So if we use that darkness, because during a new moon, it's darkest, it's the darkest moon. How many times am I going to say darkest, right? So if you think about soil, and darker soil tends to be more nutrient rich. So here we are in this new moon darkness, nutrient rich, to grow this seed of setting this intention to now see yourself in this way that you transform into, that's unapologetically and uniquely you, removing limited self-beliefs, outside noise, because it's you in this conversation. It's your masculine self and your feminine self, your sun and your moon, your outer, your inner. Very personal conversation. So you want to set those intentions to actually become aware and awakened and now become this new self. I hope you guys are enjoying these readings. I'm excited for the month of June. I do have a workshop coming up, which is called Brick by Brick, in which we look at the current season that we're in and we acknowledge the transformations, the growths that we have made throughout the last 6 months. You can also catch me on Sage Connections if you're looking to have a reading. If you want to see how this transit works in your chart and what messages are being specific to you, because this is a general reading. It's a general oracle reading about what the chart looks like. Right. Oh, plug, commercial. Join me in Sage Connections. That's one commercial. The next commercial is hit like, subscribe. leave me a comment below and share it with somebody else. These are the commercials. Okay. Ooh, I'm really excited for the rest of the month to see what it has in store for us. So keep watching. Thank you so much. Be empowered.